Hey there guys, welcome back to Calico Cow Acres. It is officially time, at least for me, to start some seeds. I already started my first batch. I'll tell you what I started so far, but this is going to be round 2 of seed starting. And I'm not gonna lie, the seed starting situation, which we are actively trying to remedy with the greenhouse project, is not ideal in the basement, to be completely honest, mostly due to the watering factor. It's been pretty frustrating. There are other reasons too. You're gonna hear me say this a million times, and I'm probably gonna say it in like every video this spring, so bear with me, but I'm trying so hard to invest in solutions for things that are going to make my life easier. So the greenhouse is one of those. It'll make every aspect of seed starting and growing out seedlings until they're ready to be transplanted easier. And another one of those things is I'm trying out a new style of seed starting setup, a new seed tray situation. I mentioned a few videos back that we were doing a couple of collaborations with some companies, and this is going to be one of those videos, but I'm also going to walk through my seed starting process, like show you guys how I start seeds and whatnot. So there's other value in this too, I promise. We're gonna unbox this. I already opened it because I didn't want to show you my address. Vigo emailed us back in December, the holidays, and asked if they could send us one of their seed starting bundles, and I was like, heck yeah, like I'm not gonna turn that down. I am always looking for improving and streamlining systems here, especially the seed starting system, because honestly it's like one of my least favorite things, taking care of the seedlings once I start them. So anything that can make that easier, I am not going to say no to. As you guys know, we don't do a lot of brand collaborations unless it's something that I'm actively know I'm going to use and something that I think you guys would use too. So we're going to be using these to start the seeds today and try them out for the first time. Honestly, they're giving Lego vibes. Like Legos in terms of if I step on this without thinking about it, it's so solid that it's going to hurt my foot. I don't foresee myself standing on these often, stepping on these often, hopefully, as long as I make sure I pick them up. But I figured since these seem so sturdy, we would try out standing on them. So I'm gonna have Taylor stand on it, I'm gonna stand on it, and we're also gonna demonstrate it with some of our other little nursery pots and whatnot that we've invested in and gotten for free, and see how these compare. But before we do that real quick, I'm just gonna take these out. This is the 8-pack of little trays. There are 8 cells in each. And I know they have a bigger version of those too for like bigger seedlings. Then they sent an 8-pack of the humidity domes. And then, lastly, this is just a shallow tray that they all stack onto, and it's like grooved to make sure that they're not tipping over while they're sitting on it. I'm nervous to stand on these, but let's try it out. Hey babe, do you want to be my example large human and step on some plant pots? I'm gonna be the medium human.
Okay.
I don't have a small one, so we can put Ricky on it. It'll be okay. All right, test number 1. Go for it. I mean, it made a satisfying noise.
That one's not coming back.
Nope. All right. I feel like this one's already kind of broken. You want to step on it though?
Sure.
For fun?
Nice.
Yep. Okay, well now I have to clean that up.
Yep. This one?
Yep. Please don't break it. Nice.
I think the only reason it's even moving is because I'm on this rubber.
Yeah, we're on like the Adidas flip-flop mat. I feel like I gotta try it now. I'm scared. I don't want to break it. It's moving because of this rug, but otherwise nice and solid. Ugh. Okay. Now that we have tested that out, I have a tub of soil here. I just keep my potting soil, like a bag or two at a time, in one of these not very sturdy plastic tubs. I don't have the bag with me because I obviously already poured it into this, but I use Stout Ollie's Maker compost. It's just like a potting soil for tomatoes and peppers. So I just kind of set the tray, whatever tray I'm using, whether it's this one or a deep one, on the edge of the tub, and I'm just gonna scoop into here. We're just gonna fill these little cups up. I'm curious to see how well the soil holds in these, which it looks like at like a decent moisture level, it's holding in there pretty well. This is the first time I've used these, so I'm learning along with you. I'm excited to see how they do, because something that I've kind of dealt with before is, especially with things like peppers, and sometimes I'll start my tomatoes pretty early too, they tend to get a little bit root bound in the pots. And this isn't a size of these that I would keep tomatoes and peppers in for a long time, because these are a little bit small. Hi, do you want to come out and say hi? Welcome. If I got the bigger size of these, I would definitely be able to keep them in there long term. They have these slots in the sides for air pruning, which means that your seedlings are a lot less likely to get root bound. Something else that's really interesting about these is these big holes at the bottom. I said a second ago that I was curious if the soil would stay in these air pruning slots on the sides, but it also has these big holes at the bottom, and it doesn't seem to be falling out at all. So that's really cool to see. I'm obviously just starting seeds today, so I don't have any seedlings to pop out of here to show you this, but I can see how nice it would be to just be able to poke your whole finger in there. Like, those are huge holes, and the seedling with the roots holding the soil together would just kind of pop right out. Right now it's just soil, so it's gonna fall if I do that, but so I like to start with potting soil that just barely holds together. I don't like it to be like super sloppy wet. I know some people say to do that, and that's perfectly fine if you want to, but I don't love it, because a lot of the times I'm having to manage a camera at the same time, and I don't want my hands to be full on muddy. Like, I like to be able to shake the dirt off and have just a little bit on there. Still get my hands in the dirt, but I'm not like digging around in mud and trying to handle my camera at the same time. So I like to keep it in this tub because it contains the moisture and it holds the moisture in pretty well. So I don't have to re-wet it every time I'm using it. But I just fill my pots up most of the way, and I don't pack it in there super tightly. And then once I put my seeds in, I will tamp it down a little and then top it off with a sprinkle or however much soil is needed depending on what seeds I'm starting. Honestly guys, I'm so excited to start seeds with you in the greenhouse. Like I said, this is round 2 of seed starting for me this year. Taylor helped me start a couple trays of onion seeds, lisianthus, and eucalyptus last week, and I'm filming this at the end of January. Something I want to try and be better at, because a few of you have asked, is letting you know when I'm starting seeds. Our last frost date is technically mid-April, but a lot of the times we'll get lighter frosts all the way up till mid-May. So I kind of plant out in that time range, just depending on the weather each year. But peppers are something that take a little bit to germinate, and it's really good to get them as mature as possible, in my opinion, before I get them in the ground, because they do take so long to produce. Like they take a really long time to mature and then produce, especially hot peppers. So today I'm starting hot pepper seeds. I have a whole bunch of not hot pepper seeds that I'll be starting soon, I think in 2 weeks from now. But for now, we're going to be starting fish peppers, ancho poblano chili peppers, blazing banana hybrid hot peppers, good old jalapenos, habaneros, cayenne long slim and dragon cayenne, Anaheim chilies, and Fresno chilies. Okay, so we're going to be starting all of these peppers plus some lettuce, and this is free lettuce from Botanical Interest because they always send a free packet of lettuce just like MIGardener. I don't think I need a whole tray of each of these though, so I'm going to be a little bit picky and I'll mix the lettuce in where I can. While I'm starting these seeds, I figured I'd tell you guys a little bit more of my seed starting plan for the next month just to keep you informed. Like I said, I'll probably bring you along starting some seeds once we get our greenhouse set up, but for the next month, this is what seed starting looks like for me. So like I said, I've already started onions, lisianthus, and eucalyptus. Today we're obviously starting a bunch of hot peppers and some lettuce. 1 week from now I will be starting a bunch of flower seeds. I'll be direct sowing them. In 2 weeks the plan is to start broccoli, cabbage, Brussels sprouts, all of the brassicas, Swiss chard, artichokes, and the rest of our non-spicy peppers. And towards the end of February, we will be direct sowing our snap peas and our potatoes outside. Okay, we have a bunch of the lettuce seed down there. I have a whole extra block here. I do those a little heavier because I don't really mind if extra come up. There we go. Okay, we need to throw some labels in these really quick or I'm gonna get them confused really, really fast. We'll top them with some more soil and some vermiculite, and then I will show you the part I'm most excited for about this new seed starting setup. I use coffee stirrers for my plant labels because they're like popsicle sticks, but they're smaller, they're thinner, and they're a little bit longer, so you can break them in half and use one for 2 different spots. And then I just buy little packages of these plant markers because I lose them constantly, and these don't wash away when they are in the elements out in the garden. Okay, after I label them all, I just kind of take this and poke. Just get them down a little bit so that they can be covered. And just a little bit, I try not to do too much on top, but I will come in and like sprinkle just a little bit to top any off that need it. Okay, now I get to show you the part I'm most excited about for trying these out. But I gotta go get some water first, so I'll be right back. Normally, I use this when I first start seedlings, and I cramp up my hands like crazy trying to mist like trays and trays and trays of seedlings. And I have to fill this up in the kitchen upstairs and then bring it downstairs and mist, and it runs out really quickly. Or I do have the option to use our jail cell basement bathroom sink that the spiders own. And that only is hooked up to hot water right now. It's always only been hooked up to hot water since we've bought this house. For some reason, I haven't had Taylor hook up to cold. Anyways, because of that, I can only use a couple bottles worth from that sink before it gets too hot that I don't want to put it on my seedlings, and then I'll just have to go upstairs and use it. So doing it this way is really not ideal. You'll hear people say that bottom watering is best. And I do agree with that once the seedlings actually have some roots to be able to soak up the water. But when you're first starting them out, the seeds are at the top of the soil. So they're not able to, they don't have roots yet to reach down and drink up that water that's at the bottom. So bottom watering doesn't really make sense when you're first starting seeds, but keeping the top of the soil is really important. The last part of this seed starting bundle that comes with this Vigo kit is these little humidity domes. Humidity domes help keep the soil moist up top, like I said. These aren't just a Vigo thing. These exist everywhere. But the part about this that I'm so excited about is the way that they designed these trays to work is super cool. So I'm going to put all of these little domes on here and show you how this works. So most humidity domes don't have this hole in the middle. They'll just be like flat on top, or they'll have a little vent that you can open or close depending on how much humidity you want to keep in. But they designed these so that you can hold water, you can pour water into here, and it will slowly drip down and distribute into all of the cells evenly. And I already spilled some, but we're gonna try it out. What happens is this lid is going to drip down a little bit at a time. It falls into this middle tray. That's why there's not a cell that you can fill up in here, because what that does is it drips into here, and then there's these little channels that you can see into each of the side cells, and that evenly distributes the water between all of these cells. So yeah, this little reservoir situation is what I'm most excited about with this whole setup, because that means that I do not have to worry about the top of my soil drying out where my seeds are, because if your soil dries out where your seeds are, they're gonna shrivel up and wither and die, and they're not gonna grow into the little seedlings that are eventually gonna go in your garden and give you a bunch of peppers. Okay, so like you guys saw earlier, these things give Lego vibes, in my opinion. They are very sturdy compared to the other ones that we've been using and that you can just get for really cheap at big box stores and whatnot. These are definitely the strongest plant pots I have ever used personally. I feel like I've used a good range of them at this point. There's these really flimsy ones that are basically paper thin. There's these ones that I honestly thought were really thick and really high quality. This is their 3rd year and they're starting to fall apart. They aren't nearly as thick as these things though. Excited to see how these last over the next few years. I'll keep you guys posted on that. But overall, I'm really impressed with this. I do think that I want to invest in some of the bigger versions of these so that I could keep my pepper seedlings in them longer, because like I said, these aren't something that I would want to keep them in until I plant them out, because I'm starting these so early. But this size I honestly think would be really great for starting lettuces like I did over here, or if you wanted to start like your melons and squash, if you're the kind of person who starts those inside versus direct sowing them just a couple weeks before the last frost, something like this would be a great size for those. I can think of a lot of things. Flowers would be good in these, but overall, I'm impressed. And because Vigo sent these, and I was like, okay, I need to make a video and show you guys what this looks like and test this out, now I actually got my seeds started in time. Usually I start them later than I plan to, so go me. If you want to try these out, Vigo gave you guys a $10 off coupon code for their website. I'll have that linked in the description below, and I think you can use that for anything on their website. So I'm interested in getting some of their raised beds in the future. I obviously want to get some more of these trays for the greenhouse, and maybe next time we're starting seeds together, it will be in that greenhouse. And speaking of the greenhouse, I know I've mentioned it a ton in this video, but we finally started that process this week, so you guys will get to see a video on the first part of that build next week. I don't know about you guys, but I'm really excited for the growing season this year. I feel more prepared than I've ever felt. With that being said, thank you so much for watching this video. Your guys' support on these collaboration videos means so much to us, and we really, really appreciate you watching them and taking the time to interact with them. So thank you for that, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye guys. I don't know why I just almost said pasta. It's soil, it's not pasta. Yeah, those aren't falling out.